This is the 1-inch handheld printer from SNEED Coating Solutions, and we're going to go over your print settings. So when you boot it up, you're in the main menu here. We'll go to Print Set. On the top here, we have our print mode. If we use the drop-down arrow here, you can see key trigger, external sensor, or automatic. Key trigger is going to use the trigger that's built into the unit to activate the print cycle. External sensor is going to use a sensor that's plugged into the sensor port on the back of the printer. And automatic is going to set it up so that it is going to trigger directly off of the encoder, or it will just start printing and not stop until you turn the print off. The next option here is our direction. We've got normal, and of course if we drop that down we'll have X reverse, Y reverse, and XY reverse. Normal is when you're rolling the printer from left to right. X reverse is going to be right to left. The Y reverse is going to take the text and flip it upside down for the normal direction. And the XY reverse will flip the print upside down as well as move the position of print from left to right to right to left. Now we'll use the drop-down menu there to go to the next one. Speed. This option will not be adjustable the majority of the time as long as the sync wheel isn't engaged. You'll use the print width to adjust the size of your print. If you are using the system as an inline printer, then you would deactivate the sync wheel, which is the encoder there on the front, and you would use the speed to set for the correct print size. Keep in mind this speed setting is very much like the print width. The lower the number, the faster that it prints so that it can try and squeeze everything closer together. The higher the number, the more it allows things to spread out so it prints slower. The next option we have is your interval. Current interval is set to 0. This can be adjusted for use with the trigger. We normally advise to keep it at 0 or as close to 0 as possible. That is the print delay, so that's from the time when you pull the trigger to activate the print until it actually begins to print. So if you need to build in a little bit of a gap, you can increase that number and you'll have to roll it a little bit before it begins to print. At an interval of 0, as soon as you pull the trigger and start to roll it, then it will begin to print. Next we have our print width. Again, that is only active and usable when we have the sync wheel engaged. The lower the number, the more it will squeeze everything together. The higher number, the more it will stretch it out. For the system, a standard DPI is going to be a 12, but depending on your usage, you may need to adjust that to fit it into a given space. Gray level, this is like a bold setting. So every time that you increase the number, it's going to increase the ink output. Keep in mind, for every one that you go up, it doubles the ink output, so it also cuts the number of prints in half. So from 1 to 2, you use twice as much ink, so you'll get half the number of prints, 50% of the amount of the prints. If you go from 2 to 3, then that's 50% of that number. So if you started off with 100,000 prints, at number 2 you would go to 50,000. By number 3, you're 25,000 prints. So keep in mind when you're using that number, that will definitely adjust how much ink you're getting to use out of your cartridge, or how many prints that you'll get per cartridge. And that is your print settings screen. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at SNEED Coating Solutions.